30minutecrafts.com. Are you ready for the holidays? Because I'm not, but I thought I'd share with you a fun way to get in that holiday spirit and start getting ready for the holidays with this Cricut craft that we're doing today. A big thanks to Cricut for sponsoring today's craft project, which is this fun advent calendar that you can see right behind me. This sweet little advent calendar is so simple to make, and it doesn't take a lot of space on a shelf, and it's not a huge commitment. Just 12 days of Christmas for our little 12 days of Christmas advent calendar. And each little slot has a box that you can just pop out like this and open up on that day to discover that day's treat. Isn't that so sweet? All the boxes can be put back together and put back in the box so that you can reuse it next year as well, and you'll be just ready for Christmas next year. All you have to do is add in your little treats. This is also an easy gift to give because it's so compact. It's super great to ship to somebody who doesn't live close by, and because it's 12 days, you don't have to worry about getting it to them by December 1st. You've got a little extra wiggle room. That's my kind of holiday. So you ready to make this fun little 12 days of Christmas advent calendar? Let's get started. So we'll start with our supplies. I'm using blue Cricut mats for the cardstock, and I'm going to use green Cricut mats for the heavy chipboard. Then we're going to need some heavy chipboard. This is the Cricut heavy chipboard that is 2 millimeters, and this is the reason that we have to use the Cricut Maker for this project, because only the Cricut Maker has the knife blade, which is going to be sturdy enough to be able to get through this 2 millimeter thick heavy chipboard. Then we get to use some paper, and you can use really whatever kind of paper you want. I pulled some different options out, like this is some foil poster board, this is some really pretty sparkle paper, and then if you want a little bit less big chunks of sparkle, there's some shimmer paper, which is kind of halfway between the foil poster board and the sparkle paper. And then this is what I actually went with, which is the foil embossed paper in gold and white. I just thought that would look great with our craft board. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this on our mat and go ahead and take this off, the cover off, and then just put it down. And you want to put it down right side down. And the reason that we're doing that is because if you're using the scoring pen, you want to have it right side down. If you have the scoring wheel, perfect. You can go ahead and actually put it right side up if you're using the scoring wheel with a double scoring wheel. So either way, right side down if you're using the scoring pen, or right side up if you're using the scoring wheel or double scoring wheel. If you have a scoring wheel, another option which is great for this is you can actually use the fun acetate with designs on it to create your boxes. So if you have that scoring wheel, acetate for the boxes is going to be super, super cute. Before we take this over and cut it out, I want to show you how we put the chipboard onto the green mat. So I've got my chipboard and my green mat, and I'm just going to use some regular masking tape to go ahead and put this on. Go ahead and open up your heavy chipboard pack and pull out a piece of chipboard. The chipboard is nice and thick and sturdy, and this is going to be great. If you don't have chipboard but you have the knife blade, the other option would be to use balsa wood or basswood for this, but the chipboard is also a great option. So what I'm doing is I'm lining this up, and because of the size of the design, I actually want to line it up about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. And you want to be careful. You can go closer to 1/16 of an inch than 1/8 of an inch if you're worried, but we just want to give ourselves a little extra wiggle room because the largest design here is a little over 10.5 inches, and the chipboard is actually only 11 inches. And the reason the chipboard only extends to 11 inches instead of the full 12 of the mat is because we move our star wheels over to the side when we're cutting out the chipboard. So the reason that we put the masking tape along the edges is because if Cricut made a mat that was strong enough to be able to hold these pieces down while it went through the rigor of cutting with a knife blade, we would never be able to peel it off the mat when we were done. So we just use some masking tape and go around the edges and just make it flat. And that way it'll be easy to remove at the end. And this masking tape, you just need it along the very little edge. And if there is some on your finished project, you just take that off. And if you take it off carefully, you actually won't have any marks or mars from this at all. So just do this along all 4 sides. And don't ever worry about getting masking tape in the gutter here. That's just going to go over with the wheels, and it's not a big deal at all. So now this is going to be ready to cut. You're going to need a total of 3 sheets of chipboard for one of these little 12 Days of Christmas Advent calendars, and you're going to need 12 pieces of your decorative paper. All right, we can go ahead and take this on over to our cutting machine. To cut the chipboard, we're going to use the knife blade. This is a special accessory that only works with the Cricut Maker, and it does not come with the Maker, but you can purchase it separately. It goes in the same slot as your regular fine point blade or rotary cutting blade would go, and the little gears match up with the gears right in back. If you're cutting something thick like chipboard or balsa wood or basswood, you want to take the star wheels that are normally here and push them all the way over to the right. Otherwise you'll get grooves and indents in your chipboard and it won't be attractive at all. Once you've done that, you can load your mat. One more thing to note about using the knife blade is that the knife blade currently only works with a laptop or desktop computer. So you'll notice I don't have my iPad up here because it won't work with my iPad. It'll only work with my laptop or desktop. So I have my cord here that's going to my computer so that it'll send the information to the machine. So now I can load my mat and press cut and watch the knife blade cut everything. Once everything's all cut out, you just release it and you'll see that they pop right out. If you want, you can start testing at about halfway through to see if it's all cut out, just by when it's all the way out here. You just kind of pull on the edge to see if it pops out. Or you can just let it run until it's completely done. And then you're all set. You can put in your next piece. Once we have all of our pieces cut out of the chipboard, they're pretty easy to just pop out and get rid of the extra. And then you can just peel away the tape and reuse your mat. This is really a great way to reuse mats that aren't that sticky anymore. And I'll show you with this one. And this is what I actually did, is this one was fairly unsticky and I didn't want to peel off a past project, so I just left it on there because it's really not about this part being as sticky as really those edges getting taped down. So that worked perfect. So now I have all of my pieces and I want to peel off that tape just off the edges. Okay. So I have all my pieces set and ready to go, and I'm going to set it out. I've got the 2 short pieces here on either side. And then I've got my 2 long pieces on the top and bottom. And then I have 2 long pieces with grooves. And then I have 3 short pieces with grooves. So what'll happen is I can set these all out of the way. And these long pieces with grooves will get popped right up. And the short pieces with grooves, they slide right in. And I have my hot glue gun, I'll heat it up. And I just want to run some hot glue right in that seam. You don't want a big bulk of hot glue because the boxes are a pretty close fit in these box spots, and you don't want a big lump of hot glue to prevent you from being able to fit your box in these spots. And if you prefer, you can run your hot glue just on the pieces before popping them in, if that's easier for you to get to. There we go. And do everything you can to keep that as square as possible because it will want to shift. There we go. Now if you look, these top and bottom pieces are the same size. So these top and bottom pieces are what go on next. And then the side pieces. And that's pretty simple. We're just gonna toss in another glue stick. And this, if we do this pretty quick, the glue will stay warm enough to give us some wiggle room just in case we're not perfect. And now, especially if your pieces aren't perfectly together, you just grab some holiday ribbon. And you can tie a nice pretty bow. The depth of this box is 2 inches. So if you want to find a good 2-inch ribbon and then cover it completely, that's fine. But this will add a little bit of interest as well as kind of cover some of those flaws and make sure that everything stays secure. My favorite way to tie a bow in a project like this is just a double knot. I'm not even tying a bow. And then I'll grab my scissors and I'll do pretty cuts on the ends. And then to keep this secure, I'm just gonna throw a little bit of hot glue underneath and on the edges to keep that ribbon in place. And that adds a little bit of color and a little bit of decoration, plus it holds it all together a little better. So there we go. Now we have our box. I'm going to set that aside. And you've also cut all of your cardstock pieces. You cut them all with the pretty side down, and you notice that there's more than just the boxes on here. You need to pull off the background and you'll see that I not only cut the boxes, but I also cut tags. I am not a fan of scrap cardstock. Once I cut something on it, if there's a big wasted piece, then I feel like I can't throw it away because it'll go to waste, but I don't want to keep it hanging around because there's already way too much stuff going on in my craft room, and I will forget to use that scrap next time I'm cutting a small project. So I created all of these mats for y'all to do double duty, where they will all cut the boxes, and then I have tags as well as these little like page markers. These are great for using in planners, where you just pop out the bottom bit and it works kind of like a paper clip to just mark a page for a bookmark or for a planner. And if you have problems with them pulling out, you actually just put them in and you tape them down, and then they stay with just some clear like cellophane tape. But then you've got bookmarkers and you've got tags. So these are the tags from this one. Some more tags from another one, and you'll have a dozen sheets of tags already cut out from papers that you love because you used them for your advent. And you can just have these handy for when you need to just put a tag on a gift, which obviously around the holidays, these will come in handy. So that's just a little double duty out of your mats. 2 projects, really 3 projects with the little planner tabs. 3 projects done in one. Then we've got our beautiful shiny boxes. So now I'm going to show you how these boxes go together. We still have our hot glue gun nice and warm. Make sure that you don't burn yourself. So there are 3 different kinds of boxes and there's 4 of each box. So I'm going to show you how to make each of the 3 different kinds of boxes, and obviously you're going to make 4 of each. You start by folding all the score lines. And now you have the box kind of dry fit together. Just double check to make sure it all fits nicely before you add your hot glue. I'm just going to add my hot glue for this box, which is kind of the flower topped box, on 2 sides. Easy peasy. Close it, and then when it's all cool, making sure that nothing shifts. There we go. When it's all cool, then I can put the 2 tabs together just like I did on this one. So the 2 tabs just go together and come apart to put this box together. There we go. So there is our flower box all done. Next we have kind of a traditional box. Traditional box starts also the same way. Just start by folding all of your score lines. You fold on all your score lines, and then again you just dry fit the box. Now this one you'll see has 2 curved flaps on this end, and then 2 kind of notched in flaps on this end. The curved flaps are the top of your box, and the notched in flaps are going to be the bottom of your box. So just kind of put the whole box together. There we go. And now you'll have this spot with 2 flaps. And those are the flaps that we're going to glue. Let's just add a little glue on this flap. Add a little glue on this flap. Just tuck them together. If some of your glue comes out the edge, that's okay. Just be careful not to touch it with your fingers. Let it cool about halfway, and then you can easily just scrape it off. So once it's kind of cool halfway, you can just take your fingers and scrape it off. And then here's the top of your box. Box type 2, all done. Again, you're going to make 4 of these. And then we have our last box, which is our lidded box. Again, we're going to start by putting all of our folds on our crease lines. I'm going to go ahead and do the same for the box lid as long as I'm folding. Put the box together, put the flap inside, inside, flap inside, and then just tuck that flap inside. Now we're just going to glue inside in between each flap. This is super easy. You don't have to be precise. It is hot glue, not rocket science. Just make sure that you don't burn yourself. Some hot glue. Here we just put a little bit of glue on each tab. Doesn't take much. Flip this up and just make sure that you don't get that glue on your fingers. The lid on top of the box. 3rd tab of box. All done. So now what we have to do is we have to put these into our box here. If you have any trouble with knobs of hot glue, just grab your Cricut craft knife and cut out those big glue globs. And then you'll be all set. Tuck these in. Once you have all your boxes in, that's when you grab your numbers. You can put your numbers in any order. You can put them in order if you like, or you can just move them around. There's a couple tricks that you're going to want to know as you put your numbers on. That is, for the boxes that have lids like this one, make sure that you glue the number only to the bottom and not to the top, so that you're not sealing your box shut unless that's something that you're wanting to do. For these flowers, make sure that you're only gluing it to one tab and not the other, otherwise you'll be sealing that box shut as well. If you are careful with these, they can actually be reusable for next year as well. So there you go. All the numbers are on. All you have to do is actually fill each one of these ones with treats or some kind of special item. This is a 12 days of Christmas advent, so a great idea would be to fill each one with an ornament for each one of the 12 days of Christmas. Stay tuned as I share some different ornament ideas with you over the next couple weeks and months as we get ready for Christmas, and hopefully you'll have fun with this cute little advent. And that's how easy it is to make this fun little 12 days of Christmas advent calendar. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you know when I've got another fun video for you. And if you have any questions or comments, leave those below. I'll make sure to look for your comments and I'll answer. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have an awesome and crafty day. Bye now.